Needless to say, it's been a long, cold winter, and we've gone through quite a lot more firewood than we would have expected. So Mom and Dad are running low, and I'm trying to help them out by cutting them some and getting it split up, so hopefully they can make it through the rest of the winter. I'm also going to have to get some of my own. Don't think I'm going to quite have enough.
Hi all, Jeanette here, and we've had a really cold, hard winter, and even the last few days, including another night tonight, have been down in single digits, and one night was even a little bit below zero. So it just seems like it's going on, but I'm starting to see a little bit of change in the prediction in the weather, where the lows are not going to be so low down. They're going to be in the mid to upper 20s for lows, and even some daytime temperatures up into the 50s coming up. I'm hoping that the hard part of the winter is over. It doesn't mean that it couldn't still snow. It's not still going to be cold, but it gives me a little bit of hope that I'm going to be able to start making some things happen. And today I'm out in the greenhouse for a little bit. I've been out here a couple times cleaning up some. It still needs some cleaning up to do. Jeremiah is cutting some wood up for us because we haven't had enough wood to make it through the winter. We're almost out again. We keep poking wood in that fire and have to try to keep the house and ourselves warm. So I wanted to show you some things that are going to start happening around here, especially in the greenhouse. I want to show you my germination bench. I've shown it before in some videos, but in case this is the first time you've ever watched, I wanted to show you again. What this is a 4-foot by 12-foot long box with a plywood bottom and then probably like 2 by 10 maybe sides on it. They're all bolted together, and in the bottom is a heating element that zigzags back and forth in here, and it is set up on a thermostat so that it can be controlled by that, especially at night. In the daytime it's a little bit harder to control it because when the sun shines sometimes it gets a little too hot, but we put a top over it that you just saw me open, and sometimes I have trouble with mice in here. So a couple weeks ago I came out here and I put some mouse poison in here, and it's still here. So that means no mice have been living in this bed and burrowing around in it. This is where I start the seeds. I germinate the seeds, and in previous years I would have had this going already. On February the 15th I would have had this thing totally full with tomatoes and cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower plants, but since we're not doing the market anymore, we are not going to be doing that kind of volume. And since we've also had such a hard winter where it's been too cold and I'm afraid that the thing wouldn't keep up, it would cost too much money to operate, then we haven't been operating it. But with tomorrow being the first day that it's going to be a little bit warmer consistently, I hope, I'm going to go ahead and get some things set up so I can start some seeds tomorrow in here and get them cooking and get them sprouted and get the season on the way. It's been hard waiting. It's been kind of sad for me because I haven't been able to do what I usually do. I think with the retirement thing, the thing I've missed the most is starting up the greenhouse and growing all the plants. It's a great thing to do in the winter whenever you are inside and it's dark and cold. If you can come out in the greenhouse where it's green and sunny sometimes, although this year it hasn't been as sunny. What I germinate in is called BM2. It's made by a company called Burger. They are from Canada, hence that CA there. And what it has in it is fine sphagnum peat moss, fine perlite, and fine vermiculite. basically it's really fine stuff. You can see right here how fine it is, and it doesn't stop any seeds from having the ability to come up. And then what I transplant into is BM1, and it's basically the same ingredients, but it's more coarse texture. And whenever I transplant my seedlings, I put them into BM1. I don't claim to be an expert on the type of soil to use. I use this soil only because this is what I have easily available to me. We have a medium-sized Amish community near us where there are a lot of produce growers, and so only about 10 miles away from me I can get all of the stuff that I need to grow the plants and the seedlings and do all of our produce growing at that one place. And that's the reason why I choose to make this. I doubt if there's anything really any better out on the market, but this is just what I have available to me. I use these sectioned off trays to start seeds in. Each tray has, like, I don't know how many channels here that you can put your soil in instead of one big tray full of soil, which is okay, and I've done that too, but I kind of like these sectioned ones. We call them hot dog trays just because of the shape of the channels. They tend to break, and a lot of times I'll take them apart like that so I can have smaller sections to plant different things in, instead of, if I have a lot of something that I've wanted to plant, then I would put them all in one. And then what I do is take a container and fill up my tray with my soil. And then I'll take another tray and I'll press it down in there to make a little indentation. In that indentation I can sprinkle the seeds, which I intend to show you how to do that on the next video. And then after I put the seeds in there, I'll just gently sprinkle some more seed mix over the top of it, press it down, and set this in a tray. I use these trays right here that are a couple inches deep, and I put water, warm water in there. I like to do it when I'm doing my seedlings, and dip it down in there until it's all wet. Then I'll put it over here in my germination table, and I'll leave it there until it sprouts and comes up, and maybe even till it makes its first true leaves. I'll have to keep it watered a little bit, but generally at that point I will water it by dipping it back in that tray again and soaking it up from the bottom. If you don't want to do too much watering from the top because of the fine texture of the soil, it will all just kind of float around and maybe dislodge your seeds. Water it from the bottom and make sure it's watered up pretty well. In here I close the lid at night. If it's really cold, I will even put blankets over the top of this to protect it, and then we'll open it up during the day, especially if the sun's shining good, because it can get light and the sun makes a lot of warmth in here in the greenhouse. Right now it's only about 20 degrees outside, but in the greenhouse right here it's quite hot. It's probably, I'm not used to the heat so much, but I think it's probably 85 or 90 degrees right now in the greenhouse. So it can make a lot of difference.
Well, our winter has been a little longer than we anticipated, and so we pretty well burned our wood up. But we had quite a bit of wood inside our various greenhouses to heat in the springtime when we planted. But since we're not going back to the farmer's market in Kansas City, I'm splitting up the wood we had in the greenhouses to burn for our house now. This is the end of what we have available in the greenhouses now. We've used the rest of it. My cat and I are getting this split up, and we'll take to the house, and it'll help us get several more days.
Watch the kitty again.
faithful kitty.
That didn't take long.